Sailboats smashed, houses erased, businesses ruined, favourite places trashed, boats aground and capsized. Join us on our sailing adventures as we experience the aftermath of a hurricane and the consequences to island residents. Checked into Grenada, we sat having a morning coffee and drink and watched as a lift barge started work right in front of us. It was attempting to lift a sunken vessel. This was the first evidence of the damage wreaked by the hurricane.
They're lifting something here, something that's sunk. So it's been down there a while. Letting it down again.
We think they were adjusting the load. The work continued and we watched another recovery of another vessel the next day. So what we've got here, we've got our two guests are too hot, dangling their feet in the water.
It's the only place we can get cool. We're from Scotland, so it's too cold, too hot.
So the last fruit we got at the market will last much longer, we'll have to eat that.
Well, it really rained last night. You can see by the colour of the water in the marina. There's debris everywhere. And the dinghy was absolutely swamped. There's probably, I would say, about 8 inches of water in there.
Why are we out tonight?
Your early birthday.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Happy birthday. Ooh. Well, we headed north up to Cariacou Island. We've got 15 knots of wind. Slightly ahead of us, but not too bad. Entering Tyrrell Bay, the effects of tidal surge and the stronger hurricane winds were immediately apparent.
This is one of the marinas in Cariacou. A lot of boat work going on. Storm damaged ones in the middle of this lot. A lot of damage around, yeah.
Find our way around, could we?
No, the original pontoons disappeared.
This was the state just after the hurricane, so in the 5 months since then, the yard has been very busy lifting boats back onto their cradles and repairing damage.
So much infrastructure and boats are missing. There's a sunken boat there, and there's one right up on the beach, a big one. This is the beached fishing vessel. That'll be moving anytime soon, somehow. What a shame. Down the back of there used to be the butcher shop. I don't think he's going to still be open somehow.
So thoughts so far on Cariacou?
A shambles.
This is a typical tree on the island which has had most of its branches snapped like twigs. This was a little snack place. They did barbecues and drinks in there, and it's completely gone.
Well, there used to be an awful lot more places along the front here. You can see where they've been cleared out. There's nothing really worth tying onto. Still got his tour boat. What a shame. Just can't believe what they've had to cope with.
Quite a few of the mangroves that were on the beach and trees that were on the beach have just got their roots completely washed out. Whether they'll survive, I don't know. Somebody rebuilding here, but what was there is just wrecked. Chiller cabinet, some bits of sticks, that's about it. This one survived a bit better. A little bar we visited, remember the green colouring on the woodwork? Stag beer was their drink of choice. This is probably somebody's business, a sports fishing boat, or the master of it. So they won't be doing much fishing.
Can you just repeat?
The little fruit and veg man,
Yeah, he repeat over.
Wow. That's incredible considering he's on the coast, right on the coast.
But the other shop next door went.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is our fruit and veggie shack that I forgot to take a picture of yesterday. His actual house further inland got flattened, so he's now living in the back of the shack. Cheers. I've got fresh basil, fresh mint.
It's a sign of reconstruction, a couple of concrete mixers. building work going back on. Roofs being fixed with existing timber and plywood.
They're trying to salvage something. Obviously rebuilding this.
So this roof definitely looking worse for wear. All of this vegetation has been mangled by the big storm waves added to the tidal surge. This is the other boat yard in Cariacou. It doesn't look to have suffered quite as bad as Tyrrell Bay Marina. Still a lot of damaged boats, but the wind this side of the bay I don't think was as strong. This was a dive centre, looks closed, and his veranda is trashed. I don't suppose he'll be opening soon, at least not until the tourism picks up a little bit. These fishermen's huts selling fresh fish have been rebuilt from beach debris, but damage to boats and fishing gear has had a big impact. We chatted to the owner of the Lambie Queen, a lovely restaurant and bar on the seafront, about the storm damage. We had lunch with this lady, a farmer, who told us how her pigs had escaped during the storm, only to return a few days later when the storm had abated. Plenty of bits of wrecked boats and junk along the beach. There were some miraculous survivors, including the Swampy Joe 2, an optimist dinghy, surviving by being tied to an old road sign with a concrete block on it.
It's got this mizzen mast hanging by its halyard. This one's got no mast. The one behind's got half a mast. The other one's got a full mast.
With very few restaurants and bars open ashore, we retreated back aboard to a fabulous sunset. Well, we left Cariacou in nice sunshine, blue sea. 10 minutes later we're on the corner of the island, 25 knots, sitting at probably 20 degrees heel. We did have full sail out. Sensibly we took it down just before this storm hit us, and it's raining as well. So yeah, welcome to the Caribbean. Yeah, so typical squall. Currently 18 knots, but it was 25 just as we came around the end of the island. You ever got to say then, why do you bring us out on a day like this?
It was nice when we started, as usual. Lifting your skirts up, making a move a bit. So there's another yacht washed ashore off Clifton Bay, and also all along the waterline. Clifton Bay, where we checked in, lost nearly 100% of its businesses, and Chatham Bay lost at least 80%.
Wow, this has taken a bit of a battering. We had dinner in there, Barracuda. The little pie shop's gone. Yeah, it's looking like it took a fair battering. Wow, just smashed this. This was a nice little lagoon where the dinghies could go. Just completely wrecked. Had a dinghy up in there, and the guy looked after us, but shows you the power of the hurricane. It's just taken out all this infrastructure here. Yeah, so customs now is up here, and on the left, see the lady with the blue t-shirt. And yeah, it's taken a bit of a hammering. We came in here before and it was a nice little walkway. It's all just rubble now. Okay. The little bridge survived, just. Well, the little square in the middle of the town, it's got pretty much wiped out. There's greenery around here. I think people are living in the tents. Maybe the supermarket might still be there. Yeah, it's taking a real hammer. I chatted with these two guys on the left here. They were lobster fishermen round at Tobago Keys. They just finished repairing their boats and were hoping that weekend they were going to start the beach lobster barbecues. But tourist numbers were down, and so were lobster catches. Island life before the storm was full of life. Now it revolves around tents and food queues. This shoreline was where the eye of the storm came ashore. Most roofs were ripped off, now covered with tarpaulin. All the leaves and coconuts were snatched from the tall palm trees. It's a bit wild out there, sounds it. It looks a bit of a squall. I think this is called a white squall. And you can't see anything. A tented village and wrecked fishing boats now line the shore where once the bay buzzed with water taxis and fishermen. This small island illustrates how the strength of the wind scoured all the larger trees and much of the ground vegetation. In these trees lay breadfruits, mangoes, plums and other fruits that would in normal years supplement the islanders' diets. Beach in Chatham Bay, lots of debris on the beach, no sign of the little cafe that was there. This was a little restaurant and bar called the Shark Attack. We had fish and rice here and a drink 6 months before the hurricane. At the other end of the bay was a lively establishment with food, bar games and live music. Now all that's gone.
We just come ashore and there's one loo left. This is the best bar in the corner. We spent many a night here. And the rest of the bay is not much different. They are mending the hotel down the end. I'll walk down there later.
Well, another evening in paradise, having cocktails. We've just finished this round, so second round coming in, and we've got a steel band tonight. Little concrete pad, I remember this. We were sitting here for a few drinks with a buddy boat, and none of that's left. A few lizards. And what's left of the concrete base, the rest of it is gone. There's a lovely little spot here as well, had a nice view up to the bay. Yeah. A lot of people enjoyed it here. The back of here looks like it's been taken over by the river at some point. Don't even know where the path is now. Can't find the road, but it's deep grass, there's no path. Seems to have disappeared. I guess I'll have to walk a bit further and see if I can find the road. Not a bad spot.
Such a shame it's all gone. Such a gorgeous bay.
Just devastation here, all the big trees are out, been ripped out, tops are gone. They've rebuilt the road here, but it's not great, but it's better than the path. What a state. It's completely wrecked here. I think this is the bit of road we saw the tortoise on, but hard to recognise anything here now. Everything's just flattened. So we're a bit further up the hill, a little bit more vegetation, but mostly the stuff that's been ground hugging has now started to grow up like this. Plant here, I think it's a type of convolvulus, purple flowers. Strange pattern in the rock here, like circles within boxes. Must be something natural, but very strange. Whether it occurs any further up. No, just that spot. A little bit there. Well, the little farm that was up here seems to be still here. There's some pigs. It's great. I don't know what they're doing. Eating probably. And a little pond. Looks like it's still here. But all the trees have gone around it. I think there was a bit of a building here. He's rebuilt his chicken coop up the top there, I think. Stumbled upon a farm. There's quacky ducks and chickens. There's a little pond down here. The ducks are at this height. Lots of noise from the cockerel. I think this was where the cannon was, but the guy on the beach told me that it had been removed, taken back to somebody's property. Shame, but I don't think it was ever really here as a protection for the bay. Too inaccessible to get out of there. So there was a container here at one time, and people living in it, and they were building some sort of resort with container buildings, I guess. But the container's now down the hill and the vegetation start to take back over again. We spoke to the guy on the road as we were going back, and he had great plans for it, but Beryl's just tumbled everything into the ditch. So I think the land still belongs to him because it was his grandfather's, but there must have been pretty strong winds here. See the bushes coming down, get hold of a container and roll it down the hill quite easily. That's the door off the container, so it shows you how strong hurricane was to be able to blow the door off a container. Just wrenched it off the hinges.
So I was talking to the lady earlier. The only place that didn't get flattened was the tall one at the back, but it lost its roof though. The rest they've rebuilt, and the front part of the restaurant and bar they hope to open late December, November, December.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, we're a long way behind reality. We'll continue to try and catch up.
It was quite a shock to see the damage left by Hurricane Beryl and the effects it had on the local islanders and their businesses.
The hurricane was quite a small centred hurricane in diameter, but with wind speeds of 165 mile an hour and a barometric pressure of 935 millibars, it was a very nasty little storm.
We were surprised at the resilience of the islanders despite the seemingly patchy government help for recovery.
The cruising community was fantastic as usual in responding, with many trips being made from Grenada and Trinidad with emergency supplies.
And our memories will remain. We send our best wishes to the inhabitants of some of our favourite islands.
We commiserate with fellow cruisers and fishermen who either lost their boats or had damage to their boats.
And we will still try and avoid hurricanes, but we will do our part to help with recovery.
So, with that in mind, we will say fair winds and following seas.
Bye.
Bye.
The only place we can get cool. We're from Scotland, so it's too cold, too hot.